be patient first of all. I think on your first day you can't understand everything, you can't understand anything, to be honest. And I think in this era of misinformation, I want to be as honest as I can, as transparent as I can, by providing honest information. So many people have this misconception that if I want to go to practice, I shouldn't join a big four.
Hello everyone. Today we are with another podcast here with CA Arvind sir. He is working in HSBC Chennai location and also done his articleship from PwC. Hello sir, how are you?
Yeah, hi Anshu. I'm doing really good. Thank you so much for calling me over. I hope you two doing good.
I'm also doing well, and here is one of the first primary question that comes in the mind, like how to get into big firms, how to do articleship there, and how to get the job also there. Starting from your articleship, how you get into the big four PwC?
Yeah, so Anshu, so basically to answer your question, so in my case, actually, LinkedIn was not very popular. So I cleared my intern in December 2021. Then I had to go for articleship. During my time, LinkedIn was not very popular. So the only way we could reach out to people was we could reach out to our seniors who were doing articleship in Big Four and other friends of friends whom we knew, through whom we could get the email ID of the HR. Because at the time, referral was not too popular for articles as it is now. So we used to get the email IDs of the HR and we used to start cold emailing them. And then we used to find back the HR in LinkedIn. We used to privately message the HR on LinkedIn and say that we have mailed your resume on so and so date. It would be great if you're able to revert back to us. So that was the only thing which we used to do. In today's context, if I had to give a framework for someone to start with, first thing to start with is first create a LinkedIn account, create a solid LinkedIn profile, update your LinkedIn profile mainly, because many people they don't update their LinkedIn profile, they just create a LinkedIn profile, उसके बाद वो कोई नहीं कर सकता. So you should update your LinkedIn profile, keep it up to date. Then you should message people formally saying that I am so and so from so and so location. I've cleared CA intern in so and so attempt, and I'm looking to pursue my articleship in so and so firm because of so and so reason. Like you can maybe explain the firm's vision and you can say how you are aligning with the firm's vision and how you can contribute as an individual to the firm and why you are preferring this firm over some other firm. Not specifically, but you can say that this is one of the leading firms in so and so, and I feel that my vision would align with your organization vision as a whole. And you should be very professional while requesting for a referral. Once you can request for a referral from people on LinkedIn, when your message is solid and when your profile is solid, people will be more than happy to help. If you just write half-baked messages like "Dear sir" or "Ma'am, please refer me," people just ignore. वो ओपन करते हैं मैसेज सीन जोन करते हैं उतना ही है सो पीपल जस्ट इग्नोर योर मैसेज व्हेन यू जस्ट राइट हाफ बिग messages like that. So you should be professional when writing your message. Then you should reach out to them, and when you reach out to them in such a way, people will start referring you. Then there is something called LinkedIn jobs. In LinkedIn, what happens is recruiters update the jobs that are available. So for articleship, there are openings that are posted there. That is one thing. And another thing is most of the firms of most of the big four firm HRs, they also post about the vacancies on LinkedIn through LinkedIn posts. You can check out those LinkedIn posts. You can drop in a mail containing your resume. Again, in a professional manner, you have to draft an email saying that you've cleared in so and so attempt. You're looking to pursue your articleship, and it would be great if they could assist you with the same. So I also like posted on what template you should be using to message people, and you should be very clear. So you should be very clear about who's the HR because some of the HRs in Big Four they are responsible for internal activities. They have not got anything to do with recruitment. They are in no way related to the recruitment process. So you should reach out to the HR who is actually into the recruitment process. In that way, you will be able to reach out to the right person because if you reach out to a person who's just involved in the internal activities of the firm, they will not be able to know, they will not be able to guide you on how to go about your resume. So you should be able to reach out to the HR who's in the recruitment process. So that is something very important. So I think if you just keep these things in mind, I think you will be good to go. I think the first step is you will be able to knock the doors of the firm. Once you knock the doors, you will be at least shortlisted, and then the interview process will begin as a whole. Yeah.
What questions does ask in interview? How one should prepare for the interview? In your
Sure.
case, what question did they ask?
I applied for Stat Audit. So basically, I applied to all the big fours. Then I also applied to GT. So my first interview was with GT. So in GT, basically, I just had a direct technical interview with the manager, then a partner round. In GT, I got selected and I got the offer letter, but I just waited for one of the big fours. So in GT, basically, the questions I was asked was mostly around standards on auditing. So in standards on auditing, especially on 700 series, which is your audit report, then on 530 audit sampling, then on SA 320 materiality. So for any stat audit interview, what I would urge people to do is be updated on standards on auditing. They are the heart of any stat audit interview, especially say 700 series. That is really, really important. Then your 570 material uncertainty related to going concern. So that is again something really important. So be updated with your standards on audit. Then be updated with Caro 2020. That is again very, very important. Then be updated with chapters like 315 also internal controls. Those are very important. So primary thing is to be updated on standards on auditing, then Caro, then obviously the fundamentals of auditing, then also be updated with your accounting standards, especially ones like AS22 deferred taxes, your AS10 PP, your AS2 inventories. These are key standards. Your AS9 revenue recognition. So again, these are questions that the interviewer will be happy to ask. Then another thing would be is to be updated a bit with law as well, like especially audit and auditors chapter in law. Your section 139, say 148, that is very important. That is a probable question of being asked in any stat audit interview. And be updated with income taxes and GST as well. Not very detailed as much as I'm referring to for audit or accounts, but just be updated to an extent, like at least know the major sections, major provisions, because they can touch upon that in the interview. They won't like ask you too extensively in case of a stat audit interview on tax, but they will slightly look to touch upon that aspect as well. And with regard to SM strategic management, they usually don't ask any interview questions relating to strategic management in stat audit interviews. So you can probably not deep dive too much into that. And financial management, obviously the basics. If you're strong with the fundamentals, that's enough. And costing also, if you're good with the fundamentals, that's enough. You don't need to like break your head too much over it. So I think these are probably the aspects you need to focus on. And with regard to post that, I had an aptitude test in PwC, then a technical round, then the partner round. I cleared it and I got the offer letter. Meanwhile, Deloitte also called me. In Deloitte, I had an aptitude test, then group discussion, then manager round and partner round. In Deloitte also, I cleared it. But since my offer letter in PwC came earlier, I joined PwC rather than Deloitte. And in EY, I didn't get a response for the mail I sent. And KPMG, actually, I got a response, but by then I had already joined PwC, so it was a bit late then. So yeah.
As you talk to many students, also what is the difference between a big firm and a mid-size or a small size firm?
So basically, the difference, if I have to say, is departmentalization. So many people have this misconception that if I want to go to practice, I shouldn't join a big four. I think people are mistaken in that aspect because in any city you see there are mid-sized firms which also focus on specialization, and there are mid-sized firms which also focus on all departments. So if you want to get into practice, so ultimately, to be very honest, in today's context, if you see, not every practicing professional is involved in every field. If you look at the practicing CA, he or she will say that only one or two fields as their field of specialization. So if you feel that okay, you want to specialize only in one or two fields and then start a practice, then I would say go to a big four rather than a mid-sized firm which is focusing on one or two fields. It is not that mid-sized firms are inferior or anything. Mid-sized firms also give you quality exposure, no denial about that. But big four, the thing is, since it is an international network of firms, they have an updated set of technologies. They have an updated SOP. So you will be more exposed to advanced things which you will maybe get later on in a mid-sized firm. So that is the only advantage in a big four. And in a big four, you will get to talk with the client and you will be able to improve your communication skills and your presentation skills at a holistic level, which is why I would recommend a big four. But let's say you want to practice in multiple fields. Let's say you want to gain an understanding of multiple fields, then go to a mid-sized firm. But before you join that mid-sized firm, please ask clearly to the HR or to the person who's interviewing you whether you will get exposure in all the fields in your articleship tenure. If you're going to get exposure in all fields in articleship tenure and you are looking to practice in multiple fields, then it's great to go to a mid-sized firm. So that is what my recommendation would be, right?
You have cleared all your CA levels in your first attempt, very first attempt. Like you been good at studying from your school time, or you just focused on your CA curriculum later and cleared all your level in first attempt.
So I was doing well from school, but I think in CA the graph went down a bit because especially of theory subjects. Because like for example audit, like practically I know things, but while studying audit, like studying is also not a problem. But presentation aspect has troubled me a lot. I think in theory papers, so that has been my weakness. But apart from that, I think the consistency has carried forward from school. So that is probably one of the reasons why I was able to make it. And I think for CA finals, I think the major priority for anyone to clear in first attempt is to complete lectures on time. That is the first step. If you're able to do that, I think you're on the right track. So just because you have a lot of study leave before exam, considering the 2 year articleship has come into play now, don't defer your classes. Even though you have a lot of time before exams, try to complete your classes on time and then start preparing as early as possible. Start your revisions as early as possible because more the number of revisions you do, you have a chance of even getting a rank. I'm not saying that only those who get a rank are successful or something like that, but getting a rank definitely gives you a first mover advantage. It gives you the first step. And even if you're not worst case, if you're not able to get a rank despite all this, you will definitely end up clearing in your first shot. And that will also give you a lot of privileges. That will open you a lot of doors. So I think we'll just aim for the stars and we'll just aim for the best and let's see what happens and let's hope for the best. That's it. That's what I would like to tell people, right?
My next question is regarding this, like how you managed articleship and at Big Four and your studies for CA finals.
To be honest, with regard to CA final, actually, my only focus was to complete classes. So most of the rankers, if you see, they will also focus on revisions and all that during their articleship itself. But my only focus was to complete classes because I knew that okay, I wanted to learn as much as I can. I wanted to sit late. I wanted to do work beyond what was assigned to me because that was my focus. Like yes, clearing CA finals in first shot was the focus, but like I wasn't too much into our studies during my CA final. My only focus was during articleship was to learn as much as I can in articleship, learn beyond the work assigned also, and at the same time complete my classes before I go on study leave of 4 months. So that was the target. So maybe if I'd even pushed further, maybe I don't know, I could have done even better. I don't know, but I mean, like no regrets at all. I think I gave my best at that time, given the circumstance and given the context of things. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Are you also pursuing ACCA?
Yeah, so I am pursuing ACCA right now. So just to like gain an exposure of what is happening abroad. So just to gain a holistic understanding, no specific motive for pursuing, just to keep myself updated with what's happening, the recent changes. Because in the ACCA curriculum, basically you also have recent developments that are incorporated into the syllabus. So that is something good. That is something which fascinated me. I just wanted to pursue and stay updated, which is why I'm just going ahead and doing that. Yeah.
As CA exams are one of the hardest exams, so when you were starting, you had any backup in your mind?
No, actually, no backup to be honest. Like, only thing was, I think any advice I would give to people is like, I think if you just focus on three, four aspects, you can definitely clear CA. First thing is to complete your classes on time with good understanding. Second thing is to basically have a proper revision plan, like where you are practicing enough, where you're giving enough mocks. Like for me, to be honest, I didn't actually give enough mocks during CA Foundation, Inter, or Final because I had naturally good speed, but and my lectures were also like kind of completed a bit late compared to what I would have expected. So I didn't really have time for mocks, but my speed was good, which is why I was able to manage without much mocks as well. But I suffered a bit in the presentation aspect. Maybe if I had given mocks, I would have done better in the presentation aspect. So my humble request to anyone is like practice more and more, practice a lot, because ultimately, even if you understand, if you don't practice, it is not good. It is not good enough. You will struggle in the exam to present your answers as per ICA expectation. So that is the hard reality. You have to practice, practice, and write more mocks. And the most important thing, third aspect, which is the most important aspect, is have a solid 1.5 day strategy. Practice for your 1.5 days. This is a mistake I did. I didn't practice enough for the 1.5 days. So if you're not having a 1.5 day plan before the exam, that is kind of suicidal because how much ever you know, how much ever you know about the syllabus, how deep you know about the syllabus, that does not matter. The only thing that matters is whether you're able to cover a significant chunk in the 1.5 days. So I think that you should practice beforehand. You should practice in a scenario where you're like doing a trial for 1.5 days, seeing what you're able to cover, what you're not able to cover, and then rectify that well in advance before the exam. That is something which is probably the need of the hour. So I think these three aspects. So first thing being having strong conceptual clarity by looking at lectures and by doing self study. Second thing is lot of revisions, lot of practice, mock tests, and third thing is solid 1.5 day strategy. I think if you focus on these three aspects and you're disciplined and consistent and are self motivated, I think you can definitely clear it. I think that's nothing more, nothing less. I think you can definitely do it.
Generally asking like what one should expect from his articleship. Like someone is starting his articleship, what the core things that he mainly focus on and gain the experience that is beyond the theoretical, that is beyond the theoretical knowledge.
I think the first thing one should focus on is probably be patient. First of all, I think on your first day you can't understand everything. You can't understand anything to be honest. Give it some time. I think give it some time. Like believe in the process. बस भरोसा रखो और सब चीज ठीक हो जाएगा. So just believe in the process. Stay calm. Stay invested in the process. I think if you stay calm, you will tend to observe a lot more. You will improve with time. Don't think I'm just a beginner. I'm not able to understand anything. It's fine. With time, as time passes, you will be able to understand things better. Observe more and talk to people who are your senior articles. You will get a good understanding of things from them, and don't hesitate to ask questions. Mainly I think you will learn more only when you ask questions. Even if it's a silly question, it is okay. People may judge you at that moment for asking that particular question, but it's perfectly fine. If you understand something after asking that question, you are sorted. You are like, you have a lot of confidence. I think that self confidence will take you places in life. Be confident to ask something even if you feel it's very dumb or very silly. And I think expectation people should have is key, like you are able to manage work independently at the end of your articleship tenure. If you're able to understand what you've done, if you're able to explain that to someone, I think you've done a good articleship, you've done a good job. You're able to elaborate things better. So I think that is what someone should expect. Someone should be able to correlate what they've studied in books with what they're doing in reality, I think then you have learned a lot, is what I'd say. Like, for example, if you're income tax domain, like if you're able to correlate what you're studying in assessment procedures with what you're actually doing in reality, or if you're in stat audit, if you're able to correlate what you're reading in SA 700 series with an actual audit report, or if you're able to correlate what you're studying in Caro 2020 with an actual Caro report, like how you audit the clauses, how you come to a conclusion with regard to those clauses, I think you've done a good job. I think that is more than enough. I think you just need to do that, and you just need to keep learning, keep your ears open. Like, try doing work beyond your scope as well. Like nowadays, what I'm hearing from people joining articleship is like they refuse to sit late. I mean, I understand that sitting late for prolonged periods of time is not good. It will have a toll on your health. I understand, but sometimes it is okay to take self-interest and learn things. Have a lot of self-interest and learn things. I think that will help you a long way in life. I know it's very tough to balance everything, but sometimes I think these 2 years are meant for learning. I think just give your best. I think, but at the same time, try focusing on your health as well. Like do physical activities, take care of your mental health most importantly, and I think try to maintain a balance. I know it's very tough, but we have to try our best to do that. And I think with time, we'll learn to do better. Yeah.
Okay. After the post qualification, like you have cleared CA, then why you chose HSBC Bank?
So HSBC, basically, I wanted to see industry. Basically, one of the reasons was like audit. I felt I had got a good exposure, but I wanted to see how industry works. That was one thing. And the second thing was maybe in audit, as you know, the work schedule is really hectic. In the sense, it is very demanding because regulators are also very focused on it, and audit is a very pure field because like in audit, you are giving assurance to a lot of stakeholders. Since you're giving assurance to a lot of stakeholders, there is a lot of demand from people. So in the sense, the work is demanding. So you need to cater to a lot of stakeholders. So considering the demanding nature of work, I felt that I would not be able to do a lot of side hustles, which I am doing now. I wanted to give time for that as well. So I thought maybe I'll take a pause for now. I've seen what is there in the last 3 years. Maybe I'll just go to another line switch there. I'll see how that works and maybe then take a call. Even now, if you ask me what I want to do 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line, I seriously don't have an answer. I'm just exploring. I'm just learning. Let's see what happens. I think time will answer all the questions. We'll just keep doing. We'll just keep exploring, and sometime we'll get an answer for ourselves. So that is the only thought.
Here in HSBC, now how a day of a CA look like?
So basically, it depends on team to team. So some teams they have a workload on day-to-day basis where they have to give reports on a day-to-day basis, while some teams they have a monthly reporting. For my case, it's a monthly reporting. So on a day-to-day basis, I won't have day-to-day deadlines, but I'll have ad hoc tasks that are coming up. But during the month start, I'll have monthly submissions which will be happening. So that's how my day basically looks like. So again, it depends on which team you're assigned to, which role you're assigned to, and your pressure will depend accordingly on that. But at some point of time, I think the pressure will equalize. Like some people will have pressure during a particular period of time. Some people will have constant pressure throughout the month. So at some point of time, if you take the total hours work equivalent, it will almost like neutralize. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Uh, Apart from the CA side, like what are the other things you are exploring to? And you have also started your YouTube channel, and also you are into fitness and cricket. So how
Right.
you balance all these things, manage with your job, and why you started these things?
So basically, cricket I was playing before CA. So I was playing at a decent level. Then since CA started and since COVID happened, I had to quit in between. So now since I have a bit more time on my hands, like since I'm in a role which involves reporting towards the period end, so I know which weekends would be tight for me and which weekends would be flexible for me. So it gives me an option to decide. So since I have that leverage, I get time to play cricket. So like I wanted to come back to the sport again because I think sport more than like physical activity, it teaches you discipline. I think that is why I wanted to come back to cricket. And again, regarding fitness, I think gym also teaches you discipline. It gives you consistency. It makes you learn a lot. I think gym. I think the biggest motivation about gym or sport is that it makes you humble. I think in sport, I think sometimes some days wouldn't go as you expect. Like for example, take Sanju Samson. He was doing his best, but there were a lot of days where things didn't go as he expected. And then he came back stronger in the virtual quarterfinal against West Indies, then against England in semis, and against New Zealand in the finals. He touched gold. So I think some days in sport things will not go as well as you would expect, even though you're putting in your best. I think sport makes you humble. I think that is one of the reasons why I feel people should pursue sport. And I think I pursued sport because for the physical aspect of it and for the learning aspect of it, because sport gives you discipline. I wanted that back in life because I think when we are doing articleship or when we are like as students, we have a lot of self-discipline because we know that we want the degree and all that. But I think once we become a professional, a bit of it gets to our head. I didn't want that to get to my head, so I'm just trying my best to like engage in other things as well. So that is one thing which I'm engaging in. And YouTube, with regard to YouTube, I started my YouTube channel just to offer guidance with regard to articleship, then with regard to audit because my core was in audit. So I'm doing a series where I'm explaining how audit works practically in the real world. Because most of the students, what difficulty they face is at times they don't have seniors to guide them on how to audit a particular item. So at the time, I feel okay if I'm able to make a video of 40-45 minutes, and if someone is able to see that and they're able to get a virtual checklist of what are the things to be done, it would help them. And the series by God's grace is getting good reception. So I'm just hoping to learn more and grow and maybe explore other frontiers on the channel as well. Maybe like some podcasts which you're doing. You're doing a great job on podcasts, right? So I think possibly that is also some field I can explore in the days to come. I don't know. Let's see. Let's hope for the best. Let's keep exploring. Let's try what's working, what's not working, and let's keep giving that. Let's keep doing honest content to the audience. I think the only thing is like in today's era, there is a lot of misinformation. Like for example, the statement which I just busted a few minutes back, saying that like if you want to do practice, you should go to a mid-sized firm. No hard and fast rule like that. It depends. So like there are a lot of clickbait statements which many influential CAs are giving. And I think in this era of misinformation, I want to be as honest as I can, as transparent as I can by providing honest information. Like because I think today everyone has a lot of access to social media. It is good in a lot of ways. It is also bad in a lot of ways because there is a lot of misinformation that is going on. Just want to like break all the myths and like be honest as much as I can, which is why I started the YouTube channel. And I also wanted to guide students, which I'm doing like either through guidance for CA Final. When people reach out to me on LinkedIn, I just respond to them, or Telegram, I just respond to them as to the best extent I can by providing them guidance on what they can do with regard to preparation or articleship or post qualification guidance or maybe referral if they ask me. So I'm just trying my best to help people. So like by God's grace, like during the last 1 year, I've just guided 200 plus aspirants. Like I'm just hoping to guide more, hoping to learn more for absolutely free because I think CF fraternity has given us an identity as CA. I think we should try our best to do it. I think after seeing Durandar 2, I felt like what army is doing for the country, we are not even doing 0.001% of that. At least if we try our best to go out of our way and give back to the fraternity, I think that is the best we can do to the fraternity. That is the best we can do for upcoming CS. And I think upcoming CS will also be motivated by that and they will also start giving back. And I think I will urge everyone to give back amidst their schedule. Like even if you are very in a very, very hectic environment, the best you can give back is by guiding your juniors on the job, by not being too harsh with them, by passing on your learnings with them. That is the minimal thing you can do. Once you start doing that, I think you should be giving back more and more as much as you can by passing on the knowledge. And I think YouTube is an amazing forum to do that because I think like yesterday I just checked one of my videos and I got a comment for a video which I posted 1 year back. So I think that is the power of social media. If you use social media the right way, it is going to impact a lot of people positively. And I think that positive impact is going to spread forever because if you do something positive, it will touch a lot of people and they will keep on passing that positivity. And I think that's the beautiful part about social media if you do it in the right way.
Truly right. When I was starting my CA journey, I don't have guidance that point of time. After that, I
Correct.
met people and they given me the guidance. So I
Very
just
true.
thought, ki, why not I spread the same knowledge that I gained from my experiences.
True, true, very true.
One question comes from here, like you done your articleship and statutory audit. So when someone think about statutory audit, like any article, he would rather think about the outsessions audits. So do you
Right.
have any experience of outsession audit where you got the something experience like something happens that stayed to you?
So outstation audit, I've not been much because most of my clients have been in Chennai. I've been for stock counts, like where clients have had their plants outside Chennai. So like I've gone to Mumbai, I've gone to Vizag, so and I've gone to Halyan, which is like in Karnataka. So these are three places which I've gone to outside of Chennai. I've had good experiences there. Like client actually, especially in the plant level, client respects auditors. They are like if auditors are coming, okay, they are thinking that okay, someone is coming, someone is going to verify. So they are more serious about that. So that aspect is there, and clients treat you well when you go outstation because they treat you as guests. So that is a good thing. But you shouldn't like you should also be vigilant about what the client is doing. You should not get too much immersed in their hospitality. You should also see what is going right, what is going wrong. Luckily, I've not had any negative experiences where client has hidden something or something of that sort. Nothing has happened like that. Luckily, everything has gone smooth. Everything has been hassle free. But I think in outstation audit, you travel a lot. You get to understand more about the other team members. That is the best part about when you go for a stock count out of your city or out of your state. That is the best thing that happens because your travel is for a decent amount of time. You interact with your other team members. You interact with the other stakeholders. You learn a lot about them. You learn a lot about the business because you have more time to discuss because that is your only job during that time. So you will immerse in a lot of discussions with the other stakeholders. So you get to learn a lot. I think that is the only thing. Nothing like I've not spent more than like 3-4 days in outstation for audit, so I really don't have a very very significant experience to like elaborate or explain. Yeah,
Is there any specific topic that you want to choose and talk about?
I think next specific topic is I just want to address regarding IBS. Just a moment, just grabbing my water bottle. So next, I just want to address regarding IBS. There is a lot of negativity going around regarding IBS, saying paper should be scrapped. Yes, I agree with all that. I think it is very like it is not practically relevant to like make someone search for all six subjects. I agree with that. But my only request is the paper is there still in the curriculum. We cannot do much about it. We need to find ways on how we need to tackle it. Like the most common mistake people I see doing is that they open the book for each of the questions. I think you shouldn't be doing that. Like because I know it is very hard for someone who has written Group One long back to appear for IBS. I think I say maybe should try exempting those kind of people. Maybe I say should offer an exemption to those people who appeared Group One before a particular date. They should have a cutoff date and do that. But for people who are appearing both groups, I don't think IBS is very tough to be honest. Like because you have written closed book exam for five subjects, but for IBS, if you're opening that same book, it doesn't make sense. Like try to write from your own memory as much as possible. And for IBS, write mocks. I think that is a mistake I did during November 24. Like November 24 was a decently tough IBS paper. I wouldn't say it was the toughest IBS paper. From what I saw, Jan 26 was very challenging as an IBS paper. So I think you should write mocks is what I feel. Next thing is, let's say you feel a question is taking time, like a 2 mark worth question is sorry, a question is asked for maybe 4 marks, but you feel it is worth 8 marks or 10 marks, but it is getting asked in 4 marks. Don't write that question. Koi dikkat nahi. Leave that question. Come back later. Attempt those questions which are scoring. Uske baad come back to this. See if you have time. Then attempt it. Because in the process of attempting a question for 4 marks, which is actually worth 10 marks, you're spending time that is for a 10 mark question, for a 4 mark question that is actually there. So instead of doing that, just skip that right now. Go to the questions which are scoring, write that, come back here, and I think that is the best way to approach things. And I think with regard to IBS, I think MCQs are there, 40 marks. Try to score as much as you can in MCQs because if you're able to score 30, 30, 34 also in MCQs, you have a good edge. I know MCQs level has increased. I agree with that. But again, if you see the questions that are scoring in the paper, if you just flip around the paper and see which questions are coming right away to your memory, I think that will help a lot. And don't take law and SCPM lightly because in law and SCPM the weightage is gradually increasing. Like read law and SCPM like standalone papers. Just don't read it for spam. Read it assuming that it is actually a full descriptive paper. If you're prepared in such a way for law and SCPM as well, you will be able to tackle IBS even better is what I feel. Because I feel ICA going forward are going to increase the weightage of law and SCPM. They're not going to take it lightly because they know students are taking it lightly. They're not encouraging that, which is why they're going to maybe like maintain the same level of weightage or increase the weightage. So I feel students should probably like be more ready for SCPM and law is what I feel. I know like considering the 2 year articleship, you have a lot of time on hand for CA finals. So that is why I'm humbly requesting everyone to complete the lectures well beforehand, well before your articleship gets over. If you're able to do that, you will have a lot of time to spend for these aspects as well. And with this, what will happen is you will be able to tackle IBS even better. Yes, I understand there are certain limitations surrounding the paper. Yes, but as students, our job is to write the paper, clear the exam. Yes, there are grievances. I think members are doing their job. Like someone like a CA Praveen Sharma sir has raised this concern around the format which ICA is suggesting for FR. I think mad respect to him, mad respect to the faculties who are requesting for changes. I think a couple of days back I saw BB sir, Akash sir, and Shubham Keswani sir who were suggesting certain changes. I think massive respect to them for taking this initiative. I think a lot of other faculties are doing that as well, and I think I immensely respect them for that. And I think that is their job to do. They are qualified CAs. They are in the teaching profession. They are doing that. But as students, we get a voice only when we clear our exams. So our first job is to clear the exams, regardless of how the system is. I understand there are grievances. I understand there are a lot of issues, but there are a lot of positive aspects as well. Let's focus on the positive aspects. Let's ignore the negative aspects. I'm not saying negative aspects shouldn't be rectified. They will take time to rectify. I mean, ICA is also evolving as a body. ICA is improving. And let's give it the time. I mean, they are trying their best also. I understand there are a lot of grievances with regard to paper evaluation, no revaluation. I understand that, but let's give it some time. Let's not rant. Let's not express our frustration because as students, when students express their frustration, they are unnecessarily spending time. They don't realize that. They are unnecessarily venting out energy which they can use to study. I think just don't engage in these activities. And I think if you don't do that, I think you can definitely clear. Just focus on your studies, cut all the noise out, and I think that's good enough. Yeah.
That is also a major problem that is facing currently students that doesn't
Right.
well. Uh, so how was experience? That is all about it, and we will definitely keep doing this in future.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much, first of all, for inviting me, Anshu. I think you're doing an amazing job. Just keep doing what you're doing. I think beat your reels or beat what content you're doing on YouTube. It's very good. The podcasts are very insightful. I think You're calling guests from a variety of backgrounds, which is really great. So it gives a wider perspective to the audience. More people will tune in, and I hope this series becomes an even more bigger success. And I hope even more people tune in, and even more people like appreciate you for the work you're doing. So keep up the great work you're doing, buddy. So keep it up. That's all I want to say. Thank you so much for inviting me over, and I hope the series goes on for even longer and garners even more reception and even more recognition. Right? Yeah.
Okay, thank you for all watching this podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in and watching it amidst your schedule, amidst your time. Thank you for taking time out and watching this. Thank you, Anshu, for taking time out on a weekday. Thank you so much.